the South Saskatchewan River, soon to be churned up by 20 Formula One powerboats. 50 laps here over this 1.2-mile course. Steve Michael was down in the pit area where he was able to get some conversations in with some of the drivers.
Well, Bill Siebold just minutes away from starting things off. Bill, you qualified sixth out on the dock yesterday. Let's talk about this very unusual course here in Saskatoon. You got two bridges to navigate through.
I think it's going to be very tight with 20 boats out there, and the older bridge at the turn 3 and 4 end is probably not going to be a problem. Down at 1 and 2, though, that's going to be a problem because the bridge pier is right in the middle of the straightaway, and there's going to be a blind spot as 1 second when you come into that corner. And the problem is it's going to put the outside guys coming in. They're going to be attacking the buoy at a different angle.
And on this 1.1-mile course where they pass under two bridges, the Victoria and the Idlewild, it's going to be some tough running, Steve.
Well, the key to this, Walt, is that if an experienced driver like Bill Siebold, who's been doing this for 40 years, believes it's going to be difficult, it will be. It's a short course. It's going to be not an endurance course like we saw in Bay City, but a sprint course.
But one of acceleration and total control. Here we come up, getting ready for the start. Down goes the flag, and here they go. It's Greg Foster, number 53, getting off very quickly. But number 77, Scott Gilman, roars away in that fourth position.
Some fast boats in the back of the pack. We'll keep an eye on them as they head down into the first turn. That's 3, now heading into turn 4. And at the moment, the leader continues to be the man on the pole, Greg Foster. But look at Scott Gilman. He started 5th. He's already up into 3rd.
And number 94, Steve D'Souza, he's back in there in second position in his interstate batteries. But 53, Greg Foster, he's out of Orange, California. 119.5 is qualifying speed, and you can see how. But look on the inside, 77, Scott Gilman, chopping down to the inside with Felix Sorrellis and Bill Siebold coming by in the rest of the field. But number 53, Greg Foster, holding on the outside. Coming down the inside was 77 Gilman, but Foster looks in his rearview mirrors, goes under the bridge and down to the inside, chopping the turn hard. Going wide to the outside was 94 Steve D'Souza. Cutting down inside of him was 77 Scott Gilman.
Gilman was determined earlier before the race. He said, this is the one I need. It's the key to get me back into the championship's point race. And at the moment, Gilman is doing just that. He started off 5th. He's up to 3rd. It's very early on. We're just coming around here in the second lap. And Foster remains the leader. D'Souza sitting back a bit, trying to see what's going on, and he'll decide where he gets his clear lane. But keep an eye on Gilman in that black 77. He's starting to move up now on the outside lane.
But 94, Steve D'Souza was able to take the inside lane, but they're all chasing the man out in front, number 53, Greg Foster, as Foster continues to lead. But 94, Steve D'Souza's moved down tight on the buoys. He's decided to turn tight and push 77 Scott Gilman wide to the outside. He knows he's going to have to take the shortest way around this very quick 1.1-mile course. In his Mariner-powered Burgess, he tries to run down the man out of Orange, California. But 94, Steve D'Souza, out of Augusta, Georgia, holds on to second place, but he's being pushed hard by 77, Scott Gilman, and number 7, Billy Siebold, and then 38, Billy Joel, and number 88, Felix Sorrellis.
On your screen, Steve D'Souza, 23-year racing veteran. He's got 6 national all-time high point championships. 3-time he's a national champion. And he's got 2 world records, so he knows his way around a tight race course, this 1.1 miles, and it's tricky, as we've talked about, 2 bridges, but right now, Steve D'Souza is navigating them perfectly.
And he's got 2 worries. He's got the man out in front of him, Greg Foster, and he knows the 1990 champion, Formula One, is right behind him. That is 77, Scott Gilman. Gilman takes out and kicks back in. There's the master himself, number 7, Billy Siebold. Then number 38, Billy Joel, is 88, Felix Sorrellis, stays wide to the outside. But look at Gilman as he comes down the straightaway, Steve. He is tunneling a lot of air, and the Saskatchewan River is getting very rough.
Really dancing on the way as we take a look at the way the course conditions are at the moment. It's a little rough in the corners, but it's a lot better than what we saw in Bay City, where you had a walled situation on the course, a lot of backwash. We don't see so much of that here because the water is dissipating along the banks, and at the moment, this looks like to be a very fast race course.
And Mr. Bill, Billy Siebold, Bud Light sponsored, he's out there trying to pull up on the field, as right in behind, as he pulls up behind Steve D'Souza, pulls away from Billy Joel, number 38. But that man right there, Steve D'Souza, the very shallow waters of the Saskatchewan River. Let's go to the onboard camera and see the action from his point of view.
Great vantage point just to his left as we watch him come down. There's one of the bridges. Now he'll make a hard turn coming up here, Walt. Sometimes reaching 4 Gs when they go around a 1-pin turn. This a 2-pin turn, and not quite as much, but you can see the force. Keep an eye on his helmet on the left side of the mirror as it bounces along. Now, that's just down the straightaway. Now he's going underneath the next bridge, which is the Idlewild Bridge. Here he's coming into a very hard turn, number 1. Now watch his head right there bobble a bit as he works his way, as he navigates through turns 1 and 2. And again, he takes a quick look up. He looks up at the mirror. He looks for the boast behind him. At the moment, sitting in second place, but you can see how physical this is on a driver as he goes down this 1.1-mile course.
And the English-built Formula One hull he is driving seems to be handling the choppy waters of the South Saskatchewan very well. As he slams into the corners, you can see the spray come right up on the camera lens as Steve D'Souza looking out in front for number 53, Greg Foster, looking in those rear view mirrors, looking for number 77, Scott Gilman.
D'Souza now. We'll catch him from the other angle. Watch him very tight through turn number 1. Gilman stalking him from behind. Bill Siebold hasn't given up the chase by any means. And behind him by 2 seconds, a great battle going on between Billy Joel and Felix Sorellis.
But this fearless young man out of Basalt, Colorado, is letting it all hang out. He's sponsored by a Canadian company, Chip and Pepper Wetware. Also sponsored by Smilin' Jack. But I tell you what, there is no smile on his face right now because he's back in third position. He's got 2 people out in front of him. He has been unable to gather any points so far this year, and this is a place he's got to make a move. But 94 Steve D'Souza is going to try to hold on to that second place, maybe move into first. And here's a man who will try to take it away from all of them. Number 7, Mr. Billy Siebold. Like you said, Steve, over 40 years of racing experience, he is called the master.
Bill started in 6th, has moved up to 4th. As we look at the man in second place, Steve D'Souza, he started there. He started off the point.
And look at Gilman. He made the pass. Gilman on the outside just absolutely ran down the man out of Augusta, Georgia, and he came on strong. Number 77, Scott Gilman, able to move into that second place spot.
And I think Steve D'Souza was as amazed as I was. Gilman showing tremendous speed on the outside lane. Just powered past Steve D'Souza and has moved up into second spot, and now he begins his stalk with the leader, the man out of California, Greg Foster. And Foster is looking in his mirrors. He's got to be at this point.
And number 77, Scott Gilman, better be looking in his mirrors because number 7, Billy Siebold's coming up behind him, and number 38, Billy Joel. Let's go to the on-boat camera. This is on Felix Sorellis' boat, and look at the river run underneath him as he heads down towards the Victoria Bridge. At over 130 miles an hour, we can see the South Saskatchewan blowing up the spray on him.
And you get a chance there with the in-boat camera just below the driver. The battle for 5th place as we come across now at the start-finish line. Coming up here on our right, we'll watch to see what Felix Sorellis does with Billy Joel off on his left hip. As he goes underneath the Idlewild Bridge, they'll head into turn number 1. There's Joel just in front. He takes an inside line. Sorellis forced to stay on the outside. Now he comes on the backside of the course. He goes to the wide side of the bridge, goes underneath the pillar, and it looks like Waldy's slowing up.
As Billy Joel begins to pull away from Felix Sorellis. I wonder what's happening to our in-boat camera boat. Number 88, Felix Sorellis. There goes number 11, Michael Siebold, as he makes a move and blows the spray right up into the camera lens.
Well, for Felix, it's good luck, bad luck scenario for him in 1992. Did not start the Augusta race, won the last race in Bay City, and now he is in dire straits, Walt.
Well, I tell you what, so far it's been the 2 winners of the year. It has been 94 Steve D'Souza falling out, and now number 88 Felix Sorellis slowing down the field. But number 7 Billy Siebold looking for his first victory in 2 years. And number 77 Scott Gilman looking to come back from 2 absolute terrible starts early on in the year. But a victory here would take the young man out of Colorado and put him where he wants to be in the hunt for the 1992 championship. As the leaders begin to lap some of the slower back markers. And number 94, Steve D'Souza, has gone to the dock. It's all over today for him. Let's go to Steve Michael as he has a few words with Steve D'Souza, number 94.
Steve, so much preparation, the points leader. Hey, you were up to second place, and it looked like you were starting to make some progress in on the leader.
Yeah, we were catching him. I don't know what happened. I don't know if the engine went away or the gear case or what. We're going to take a quick look at it. But
was it just something suddenly that went out?
Yeah.
Sorry to see you out.
Well, thanks, Steve. I tell you what, it's tough luck for the Augusta-based Interstate Batteries team, but back to racing action. The 77 Scott Gilman goes through the spray and out the outside, still trying to run down. Number 53, Greg Foster, as Foster continues to stay down to the inside. And the man moving up to the field is the Bud Light sponsored entry of Bill Siebold out of St. Louis, Missouri, as Bill will hammer it tighter and harder in the corners than just almost anyone. Billy Joel staying right up in there behind him as 77 Scott Gilman taking the wide way around the race course, staying wide to the outside, trying to use top speed to overtake number 53, Greg Foster.
So a new page is turned here in the 1992 season. Our points leader, Steve D'Souza, out of the race. Greg Foster, at the moment, our leader of the race. He has 223 points coming in today's event behind D'Souza. Boy, that opens the door wide open now for Greg Foster.
But Greg Foster's going to have to keep up the torrid pace. He set it qualifying at 119.5 because the man out of Assault, Colorado, number 77, Scott Gilman, is pushing him very hard on the outside.
The gap has definitely closed. Only about 4 lengths between first and second. Gilman turning the wick up here. Gilman back in second. Siebold up in third. Bill Siebold, that is, in fourth. Billy Joel in boat number 38, and in fifth is Mike Siebold. But another guy to keep an eye on is Ben Robertson. He started 18th. He's up to 6th.
And staying down on the inside line, number 53, Greg Foster, able to use Neil Hancock, the New Zealand-Australia direct line sponsor entry, to block out the hard-charging number 77, Scott Gilman. He's able to hold that leader's line. Gilman has to go wide to the outside with Hancock, and that'll allow Greg Foster to accelerate hard off the turn and put some space between him and the man from Assault, Colorado.
Interesting to watch on that turn for Gilman. He was forced wide. Yes, he had a farther route to go around that corner, but he elected to take the inside coming out of that pin, thus saving time. And Foster gained a little bit, but then lost a little bit as Gilman took an inside route again here on this corner.
Gilman knows the shortest way around this race course is pin to pin. It's an acceleration course, one where you've got to have a lot of control. And it seems like the all-black Chip and Pepper Siebold powerboat, powered by that Mercury outboard engine, has a lot of control out there on this race course.
Greg Foster now swinging through turns number 3 and 4. Again, Gilman trying to close the gap. Last time around, it was less than 2 seconds, and it looks like it's the same here.
And number 77, Scott Gilman, stalking the leader. Remember, Scott Gilman, a previous world champion, is trying to force young Foster into some mistakes.
Greg Foster, a one-time water ski champ. He holds the straightaway record in the kilo, and the Mod VP at 119 miles an hour is going to need all of that skill right now, Wolf. As Gilman continues to close up on the real estate as they come down into turns number 3 and 4.
And number 77, Scott Gilman, still staying wide to the outside, using the top speed, letting number 53, Foster, go to the inside. And look at Gilman as he sets it up on the corner. He takes it off and accelerates away. And the top speed of Scott Gilman and the mistake of 53, Greg Foster, trying to go too tight to the inside, losing the speed, puts Gilman in first place.
12 laps down, and Gilman grabs the lead away from Foster for the first time in this race. And Foster does not want to make a mistake right now and try to get it all back on this one lap.
You're absolutely right, Steve, because he's got number 7, Billy Siebold, sitting right in there behind him. And now number 77, Scott Gilman, our new leader, is trying to pick his way through some of the slower back markers, trying to stay wide to the outside, maintain that top speed he seems to have over the entire field. And there's number 7, the master, Billy Siebold, as Siebold will try to run down number 53, Greg Foster. But let's go down to Steve Michael. He's on the dock with number 88, Felix Sorrells.
How are the conditions out there?
It's really nice to run. It's getting a little rough, but it was fun.
No problem passing and underneath the bridge?
No problem.
Sorry to see you out, Felix. We'll see you in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And number 7, Billy Siebold, still maintains the run out there. And number 53, Greg Foster, now sliding back to second. He goes around number 3, Bobby Humphrey. Now Foster's trying to figure out, what can I do to get back that lead from 77, Scott Gilman? But he knows number 7, Mr. Billy Siebold, is right there. SST-140 world champion in 1991, able to move up to Formula One this year, but still competing in SST-140.
Siebold clan has to be happy. All 3 of their boats are still running, and when you get down to the final 10 laps of a race, you know you've done your homework if the boats are still running.
That's right, and Benny Robertson very happy because it's been the 15-cent, 20-cent blues all year long. It's been the little
big
parts.
Smile on Scott Gilman's face. Here's the final standings. Greg Foster coming home in second. Great run for him. Bill Siebold third and Mike Siebold in fourth position.
And in fifth, number 17, Ken Davis. Sixth is 57, Benny Robertson. Greg Quirk finishing seventh, and eighth was number 70, Mr. Larry Davis.
Tim Siebold, the third member of the family, finishing ninth, and Lee Davies, the highest finishing Canadian. Then Billy Joel 11th, and Don Johnston 12th.
And in 13th, Tom Stanley, another one of the Canadians. Down to Reno, Nevada, number 21, Roger Glover. Greg Wendt and Neil Hancock from Australia.
Here are the standings now as we look after the third round of the tour this year. Greg Foster with a second place has vaulted past Steve.